What's up agents, Epic Slayers here, welcome back to a brand new Division video. Finally I can bring you the 6-piece Lone Star build with twin MG5 after getting the last piece of my gear on the last day of the global event. This build is around crit hit chance and skill haste. You will see exactly why in this video, so if you enjoy it, drop a like, it really does help me out, and let's get to it. Alright agents, so finally I've been able to do the 6-piece Lone Star build, and this comes with the twin MG5. I actually got the Lone Star mask, which I've been trying to get for a long time, as the last cache of this global event, so very happy to use this. I actually tested this out in Last Stand just to see if it was even going to be a viable PvP build at all. I actually got 32 kills in my first game on there, so it's a shame I actually didn't record it. I would have released it, so I will try and get some more gameplay for you guys so you can see just how well this works out. So as you'll see here, we got our twin MG5s. The first one here, as you will see, has Unforgiving, Deadly and Competent. The second one actually has Unforgiving, Deadly and then Adept on there. So I'm actually going for sort of crit chance and skill haste so that I can proc Competent and Adept as often as possible. So if we go on to the MG5 with Competent, of course with your sight here and your suppressor, depending on what you're using, or your muzzle, whatever, you're going to be wanting to go for crit damage and crit chance as much as possible. On the grip, I've gone for stability, accuracy on this piece. And then, of course, lastly, we got the high velocity magazine. And the reason we're using this is because it gives you that 7.5% crit chance, as you can see on there. Gives you a bit of rate of fire, gives you some magazine. But ultimately, it's because you don't really want 100 mag when you're playing PvP with this. And that's because with the 6-piece Lone Star being Berserker, you can want to be proccing Berserker as often as possible. So as you'll see here, when a weapon has 50% of its magazine remaining in combat, there is a 75% chance to receive a bonus that activates when the final bullet is fired from the magazine. Once activated, the magazine is instantly refilled, weapon damage and fire rate is increased by 30%. The bonus is cancelled by reloading, swapping weapons or exiting combat. So you want to be using that as much as possible, so you want a low mag size. And you will know when this is active because when you get down to that 50%, there will be a little icon in the bottom right hand side of your screen showing that this is going to proc. So you will know when to actually stay in that combat with whoever you're fighting rather than pull out, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I've got on this particular piece here. On my second MG5, again, I've gone for a sight giving me crit damage, crit chance, and I've gone for another suppressor on there as well. And again, the muzzle wise, it's up to you. I like running suppressors, but you don't have to. Grip wise, it's gone for optimal range and stability. No real reason, it's up to you really. But I will say with the high velocity magazine on this particular one, I've gone for crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and then magazine size. And the crit hit damage is important with this because, of course, I have Adept on this, so I want to be getting as much crit hit damage as possible. Okay, so moving on to the actual build itself. So as you can see with our chest here, we've got skill haste, we've got stamina, and we've got health and ammo capacity. Ammo capacity is not that important because you get so much ammo capacity, as you'll see. On the 2-piece set bonus you get 100%, and then on the 5-piece you get another 50%. So actually you don't really need ammo capacity on there, but I really can't think of anything else that you'd put on there, so that's the reason why that's on there. And I am modding this with stamina mods. There are firearm mods on here as well with skill haste. So the Lone Star mask, we've gone for crit hit chance. You want to be getting as much crit hit chance as possible, and as you'll see, the mod is with a firearms mod. Moving on to the knee pads, we've got health, we've got stamina, we've got blind, death resistance, bleed resistance, burn resistance. Burn resistance is important, bleed resistance can be important. Shock resistance is actually really what you want on there, because you will find a lot of people either throw shock grenades or shock turrets, even when they're running striker shotguns. I'm not salty, I promise. And we got firearms mod, and of course the performance mods here is we got crit hit chance. Now I would say if you just want to go for a sort of a all-out crit hit chance Lone Star build, then I'd recommend changing the firearms mods. Instead to skill haste, you want to put those to crit hit chance, and you can get those as well. So moving on to the backpack, stability and then ammo capacity, and then we've got firearms on there. The reason I'm running stability is because my aim sucks. I need as much stability as I can get, I really do. I want to be making sure I'm hitting as many of these bullets as possible. Like I said, if it's not proccing the 6-piece, then you've only got 55 in the mag. So you want to be getting hitting as many bullets as possible, and that's why I've ran stability on here. And quickly, mods-wise, skill haste again, of course, with firearms, and then we've got another 2 pulse critical hit chance mods on there. Onto the gloves, we got crit damage, LMG damage, and then critical hit chance into firearms. And then lastly, we've got critical hit chance, and then of course with the mod we've got crit hit chance as well. You know, I'm running a skill haste build as well as a crit chance, but I think the crit chance here is more important than the skill haste, which is why I'm not running skill haste with this. So as you'll see, if I go to my character here, my crit hit chance is at 25%, which is pretty good. We've got critical hit damage at 113, and then 91% headshot damage with that particular one there. I am using a pulse on this one. I would normally run this pulse here, which gives me 14.9% pulse, critical hit chance, so that puts me at about 40%, and if I'm running my adept LMG, then that's put me at 47.5% critical hit chance, and you're looking at about 120% critical hit damage. And then if you do go into berserker mode, then it's, I mean, you are melting people quicker than any striker or shotgun build will do, I can promise you that. And then lastly, I am running booster shot. I run booster shot just for the damage. I find that, especially on console, when I'm running the immunizer, which is really important, of course, and it does give you a better heal, that the idea of having to put the box down, which most of the time doesn't actually bloody go down, and then having to actually obviously detonate it to give you the heal, I just find running booster shot give me that extra bit of damage. I prefer it, but of course that's entirely up to you guys. I know a lot of people that would definitely say use immunizer. In order for obviously a special talent here, I just go with survivaling. It's up to you. There's no real reason why you could run any of the other ones on here. So with the mods here, sorry, the talents here, I've gone for on the move. I've gone for precision. I would not run one as none. I'd actually run strike back here. So let me just quickly change that, giving you that extra 20% cooldown when you're low on health. And then lastly, critical save. The reason I've gone for precision here is simply because I find that with the MG5, if you've got stability, you're going to be getting a lot of headshots, and it does help just increase that damage that little bit. And actually looking at these talents, I'd actually change one of these. I'd actually put on steady hands here, because as I said, my shot isn't particularly great. And if you've got a great shot, then change it. But for me, I don't. So that's why I run steady hands on here. So there you go. Anyway, that's the build, guys. I would definitely recommend, if you've got Lone Star, trying this out in some PvP. As I said, I got 32 kills in my first game of Last Stand. I will try and get some Last Stand gameplay for you, or some PvP gameplay for you, so you can just see how well this melts, especially when that Berserker talent procs. And of course, as you can see with the bonuses here, you are getting 20% LMG damage with this. And then obviously on your MG5, 21.4k damage, along with 21% damage to targets out of cover. You are going to be melting people quicker than any striker build will melt people, I can promise you that. Well, there you go anyway. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like. It really does help me out. And until the next one, epic out.